Hi everybody, this is Kathy from the Nature Foundation, back again for another installment of 22 Days of Earth Day. And this activity I thought the whole family could do separately and still be outside and have a good time for Easter, and that is making your own kite. A DIY in 5 minutes or less. So, materials that you're going to need are things you can find around the house, just like I did today. I actually used a 1/8 inch dowel for my kite that I put together, but you can use something larger than that. So I have a larger dowel for us to piece together a new kite. And my kite was one dowel that I cut a 24-inch piece and a 20-inch piece. And then what you do with your two dowels is you cross them together as a diamond shape or a lower T. And then you're going to tie them at the cross point. This is called the spine of the kite, and this is the spar of the kite. Okay, so I laid mine down and I took twine, or you could use string. In fact, I used this string for my kite. And you're basically crossing the string over to secure both pieces. So like I said, mine was 24 inches long, 20 inches across. That means 10 inches on this side and 10 inches on that side. Yep, that's right. That means there's going to be some math involved. So you're crossing it over a couple of times to make sure that you secure your horizontal dowel, and then you might even use a dab of glue when you tie it into a knot to secure it. Okay? Then you're going to take your string and you're going to make a frame. And before you do, it's important, if you have a larger piece of wood like this one, you want to put a notch on either side so you can tie a knot of your string to it. And you're going to basically take your string and tie it on all 4 points: the bottom, the side, the top. I'm just laying it out. And then back down to the bottom again. And you want those 4 points to be taut, meaning somewhat tight. So this is what mine looks like on the back side. So 4 pieces of string are right in here. Oh, sun's shining through it to show us here is the string that I tied to 4 sides, and that's called the frame. So we're framing it. And when we frame it, and you can make those notches and tie it in tight, then that's great. But this particular dowel was so small that I had to adapt it and use a bead and tie my very thin string to the bead, and then put the bead to the dowel, and I glued the bead to each points of the kite, okay, along with the string. So it's got the frame, it's string, 4 points, okay. And then you're going to cut your sail material. So I'm giving you lots of terms here. So I said this is the spine, the spar, the frame. This material is the sail because it's going to sail away. So I just used leftover plastic tablecloth, and I basically took my frame and I measured. Now you're going to have to do this accurately. Based on my frame, the part of the sail that's going to be flipped over plus 2 inches. Okay, And then with a pen, I just kind of made the template of the sail on my plastic with 2 inches larger and cut my sail out. And then you flip the sail over, sort of like this, using either glue. Now I wouldn't use a glue gun because that might burn right through the plastic. But you could use glue, and then I also used tape to tape it down. So it's tight, but not too tight because you don't want the wood to snap. Okay. So once I managed to get my sail taped over, and it actually looks like a kite now, I cut a little hole just above the spar and down here at the tail to make what's called a bridle. And a bridle can be either 1 string or many strings that that attach to the spine or the spar, and it controls the kite in the air. Okay, so I took a hole here, cut a hole there, and then I cut enough string to make a pretty taut, you can see here, the bridle, and then I attached my flying line to that, which is attached to my reel. This might look familiar. And once I attached both of those, I put on a tail. And you can use anything. You can use string. I just have this hanging around. You could use a long old sheet. And the tail also helps balance the kite when it's in the sky. And if it's not balanced, you can put more like little pieces of sheets at like every 2 to 4 inches apart, evenly though, and that helps balance it. Okay, then all you need is a good windy day, and today was a great windy day. However, wind gusts can make it difficult, so you might get your kite up in the air and it does a nosedive, but that's the fun of it all. So go out and fly a kite. There she goes! Woohoo! You definitely need space for a kite.